Hey guys, what's up? This is What the Tech, and today we're going to be pitting Apple's best camera versus Samsung's best camera. We're pitting the iPhone 12 Pro Max versus the Galaxy S21 Ultra right here. This is the iPhone, and this is the Galaxy phone. In case you guys didn't know, I actually use an iPhone to film these videos, so this is the understudy. Respect it. See, I'm cheap too. I didn't get the Apple one. There's no logo. All right, let's check it out. So this is going to be a straight up head-to-head competition of the same subject and scenery, just taken with two different phones. As many things as possible are held consistent with the two, except for the fact that for the Samsung, I actually turned off something called, I think, image optimization mode. I forget what it's called in the settings, but it basically made the shots a little less vibrant. They're still more vibrant overall, but they're less saturated as how they were out of the box. Now, before we get started into this video, I encourage you guys to pause to really examine the pictures to see which one you guys like, because a lot of these actually are pretty close when we come to the head-to-head comparisons. It is going to come down to subjective preferences here, and that's something that we need to accept. That's just a reality. No one phone here takes objectively better photos between these two. I mean, there are situations where you can see one is obviously better, but at this price point of north of $1,000, they're both really great phones, really great cameras, and you'll be happy with either one. All right, let's get started. Okay, at this part, we're gonna see that the vast majority of these shots are gonna be taken on the standard main shooter, the wide angle lens. We can see that in these well-lit shots, the S21 Ultra takes a bit more punchier and vibrant shots, and in some areas, it becomes really pronounced. The kind of pictures that the 21 Ultra produces is more pleasing to the eye, I have to admit, and when I show it to my friends, 7 out of 10 times, they pick the S21 Ultra. And I think the best way to sum it up is that they'd be more likely to post on Instagram or whatnot, even if it wasn't true to life. Now, when we look at the iPhone specifically here, we can see that the iPhone photos they look a little more drab and they look a little less exciting, but that's actually how most of these settings were. Life isn't this saturated, life isn't this super awesome looking. It's boring most of the times, and that's what this is. Quality is there for both of them, but right here, I still pick the S21 Ultra. Okay, so here's another good thing about the iPhone sticking more true to life, if you think it's good, is that we can see the iPhone more consistently maintains a much better white balance, with black staying as blacks without being too washed out, and white sticking to a consistent color temperature in multiple images. Peeping the image, we can see with fine detail that overall the S21 Ultra tends to do a better job here, because when we talk about the computational photography of the two, the S21 Ultra likes to sharpen a lot more compared to the iPhone, which tends to take a softer hands-off approach. Looking at these more scenic and landscape focused shots, we can see that the color points of green and red are a lot more punchier, allowing them to be discernible and not washed out. This is most evident especially in ultra-wide shots. For the iPhone, it just looks like Apple struggles to get a good exposure here, and the Samsung S21 Ultra's computational photography doesn't just eke ahead, but it's a resounding win here. In this case, the HDR photography is just solving the taxing issue of how to make cameras on smartphones better. And it looks like in this instance, Samsung's pulling it ahead here. When it comes to more challenging shots, I would personally want the S21 Ultra because its more aggressive HDR, although it could produce less accurate images, produce the better results still in the end. Okay, so let's look at some nighttime shots. I think both of these are actually doing pretty well for nighttime shots. When it comes to ease of use, what I can say is the iPhone's definitely better after using both, because the iPhone shows you what it looks like in the end, while the 21 Ultra asks you to stay still and you only get the end result. But if we're just looking at images, I'd say it's a tie for low light performance. You know what, even though I would actually put it as a tie for low light, they both have their own take on it. The iPhone gets more influenced by the predominant light source and how it's eventually casted onto the image, whilst the S21 Ultra tries to correct for this. Alright, so let's get into the zoom capabilities of these two phones, and let's just be honest here. The S21 Ultra just demolishes the iPhone. There is absolutely no competition. If this was a Little League game, the coach would have called the match just so no one gets their feelings hurt. The S21 Ultra's 3x and 10x telephoto lens just performs better overall, compared to the latter's 3x zoom lens, as well as its 10x digital zoom lens. When presented with the option between digital and optical, optical is always better. You guys already know this. Okay, so let's look at portrait style shots and selfies. Interestingly enough, it looks like both Samsung and Apple are applying some sort of, quote, beautifying effect, end quote, with Samsung being more aggressive with it. Alright, here's how the video looks on the S21 Ultra. This is how I look like right now. As you can see, I'm using the S21, and I'm going to switch over and blah, blah, blah. We'll be coming around the mountain when they come. They'll be coming around the mountain when they come. They'll be coming around the mountain. Don't know the rest of the lyrics to the song. This is the video quality in the S21 Ultra 5G. We'll be coming around the mountain when they come. We'll be coming around the mountain when they come. We'll be coming around the mountains. I don't know the rest of this song, but this is the quality in the iPhone 12 Pro Max. All right, so either one of these phones make a great companion to have when you go shooting and about. They say the best camera is the one you have on you, and either one of these would be fine, honestly. The 12 Pro Max takes more real-to-life and consistent images, while the S21 Ultra just takes on more challenging photos with more grace, I'd say. On top of that, you gotta factor in that it has a wider assortment of lenses in order to tackle on those more challenging shots, as I mentioned earlier, those longer range zooms, and when combined with the computational photography that will be seen here, HDR in the S21 Ultra is just so much better. I'd have to say the S21 Ultra actually wins here. Now yes, again, both would be great, but between these two is the S21 Ultra. Okay, so either one of these two smartphones would actually be wonders to have. They both take great shots and you'd be happy with either one in my honest opinion. But if we're really duking it out between the two, I'd have to say, even if the iPhone 12 Pro Max takes more true to life images and is more consistent overall, the S21 Ultra just takes more challenging shots a lot better and with more grace. And that HDR is so aggressive that even if it can produce the less true to life image, it still produces a good image overall. Plus, with that zoom lens and with HDR kicking in far better in ultra wide, you have to admit, the S21 Ultra's camera system is just better overall. If you're in the position, honestly, where for these $1,000 plus phones, it just comes down to camera and nothing else, the S21 Ultra is the better option. However, if you're looking at video, the iPhone 12 Pro Max still is the better video camera. So far, I'd say the gap between cameras have pretty much eclipsed, but for video taking, it's still iPhone, for now. Again, for me, I'd pick the S21 Ultra because I just like the pictures more. And sometimes it just comes down to that. I like the pictures more. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Tell me which one you guys liked more. See you in the next one. Peace.